Hi everybody, so today I'm talking about reformulated favourites. So Victoria Beckham has reformulated this illuminating primer and I absolutely love the original. So I'm going to compare the two today and we can see what we think of this new one. I've picked it up in the pink shade, so it's quite different. And also my absolute OG powder, the pressed powder, Givenchy, has been reformulated, which was very worrying news for me. But having seen a relatively positive review saying these are not shiny like the loose ones, I've actually gone for it and picked up 3 shades. Over the last week I've been testing these out, testing them also against the YSL loose powder, which has become my new #1 powder. So you can see in this video how this stacks up against the YSL, also how 2 of these shades, the lightest shade here and also the middle shade, how they look side by side so we can compare the colours. And then I'm also going to compare the original formula. This is the limited edition packaging I've got here. I'll compare the original that I've been loving and using for so long with the exact same shade in the new formulated version. So let's see if these real holy grail products reformulated are still worth the money. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, I am just somebody who loves beauty, and here on my channel I review the latest products, show you my favourite looks and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this content, I would love it so very much if you did subscribe to my channel, it's ever so helpful. If you're already subscribed, welcome back, I really appreciate you being here. And my skin tone, I have fair to light skin with predominantly cool undertones that lean a bit neutral. I also have blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get straight into this video. Let's get straight into the Victoria Beckham. So last year I tried this for the first time, the full title of this being the Augustinus Bader Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturiser. So this helps to really sort of balance out complexion, but the main reason I loved this was it was one of those very few products which can really fix a problem I'm having with foundation, especially in the summer. So if you follow me, you know that I absolutely love using my Bobbi Brown face base. That's more useful to me in the winter. I might use it in the summer sometimes, but that is a particularly good option for me that usually makes a tricky foundation work. This one is one of the ones that works. It works for me in the winter as well, by the way, but it's not quite as hydrating. But this is also a popular favourite if you just want a nice glowy base and you don't want to wear makeup and you just want a little bit of perfection. So I actually only picked up the shade, what's it called? Golden. So I'll show you what golden looks like on the back of my hand before we look at the new formulated one. So here is golden. So if I just rub this in, it starts off looking quite alarming, but as it rubs in, you'll see now how it's not at all. It just gives your skin a very slight sort of tint of gold, which is quite good if you're looking for that little bit of colour. Because I'm so fair, so if you look at my 2 hands, it hasn't made a drastic difference to colour, but it's really smoothed out and evened the skin tone. It's just given it a little bit of colour. So they do actually do this as well in an original shade which has no colour at all. I haven't got that one because I've never tried it, but I can certainly tell you this one is fantastic. So the one I've got to show you today from the new formulated version is the Rose. Straight away it feels so heavy. Now obviously I have used a lot of this one, but it looks slightly bigger and chunkier and heavier. I don't know if the quantity has changed. Let me whip out my humongous glasses and have a look. First of all, it's a 6-month shelf life, this, so officially this has gone past its date for me, but I will continue to use it because it's way too expensive not to. It doesn't say how much product's in it, so that's a bit odd. See if the new one says, not that that's going to help. So the new one says 20 millilitres on it. That's really not a lot of product, is it? I know I picked up the smallest one because these are very expensive. So I'm guessing the weight change is something to do with the packaging. So this is £76 for 20 mils and £142 for 50 mils. So this is a splurge. But I use this quite a lot and I haven't run out. So I haven't used it through the winter though, and I'm just now going to use it for my second summer, which I can't recommend to you because it's gone off. But I will still be using it. I don't know if I'm getting all the benefits from all these skincare promises though. So I just want to see what the changes are. Well, for me, the main change was the additional colour, first of all. I love the idea that they've added this rose. And the colours, the golden one I've showed you is the Universal Warm Bronze Glow. You can get the Pearlescent, which is the Universal Light Reflecting Natural Glow. And I've picked up Rose, which is the Universal Rosy Pink Glow. So this is described as streamlined, lightweight skincare that leaves you with rejuvenated, exquisitively fresh skin. Your complexion is perfectly primed for makeup, yet radiant enough to wear none at all. And what does this contain in it? It's got potent skin science formulated with Augustina Sparda's clinically tested proprietary skin cell renewing TFC8, which is a trademark ingredient, which is a technology supercharged with a selection of revitalizing actives. And I know that's the key one. It's very specific to these and to the Victoria Beckham line. And this gives you locked-in moisture, perfectly prepped, deep nourishing combination of actives, 3 filter-like tones, which we've seen. So what is the actual difference? I think I've written down the difference somewhere, but I haven't. So I do apologise, but I'm going to tell you the 3 key ingredients. I could have sworn I've written it down in a way that actually told me what the changes were. So this is bad on my behalf. Anyway, this contains natural black tea ferment, which is a botanical that provides moisture retention, environmental stress defense, and promotes natural cell turnover for a radiant, balanced appearance. And it has ectoin, a naturally occurring molecule known to help support your skin firmness and elasticity, whilst protecting against oxidative stress and helping maintain a calm complexion. And this has a luminescent plant extract, which is a unique ingredient which captures light and transforms it into a soft, visible radiance to enhance the skin's appearance for a luminous glow. This also has squalane and niacinamide and 4 forms of hyaluronic acid. So this is packed full of fabulous skincare goodies, which is something I really appreciate using Victoria Beckham products. So apologies for not being able to tell you the difference between the two, but let me show you a pump here of this rose. So here is just 1 pump. So I'll put this, spread this out now onto the back of my hand so you can see the effect it has. I think this is a lovely shade if you're my skin twin. I do love rose shades as a base. So you can see it's not particularly coloured, it just sort of improves your natural skin tone. And here's the difference between the two. So I think both hands are now improved. You can see the skin looks more balanced and certainly has a lovely glow. And this hand just has that golden edge to it, whereas this one has more of a sort of natural rosy complexion. Can't see too much rose, but I do see it when I put it on my face, which is what I'll be doing now. So I'm going to put, I think maybe, I'll start off with 2 pumps. I'm not sure if I need more than that, so I'm going to spread the 2 pumps around the face. So you can see I should have done one side before the other, shouldn't I? Let me just rub in one side. I always forget that. So you can certainly see an instant glow here. But as I said, for me, the most important thing about this is how it just makes my makeup sit beautifully, stay hydrated without dryness. And if I'm wearing a tricky foundation, sometimes things like matte foundations, which can be particularly tricky, I do need to go for a 3rd pump, you know. Like my skin, even though I've got a lot of skincare on, I think it's just since I travelled to Budapest and I was walking in cold weather all day, every day, my skin is just very dry. So I'm needing to go in for a bit more. I probably wouldn't normally. But yeah, this makes tricky foundations, especially matte for me, work so much better, grip better, and make it less likely to cake up or pill. It just works very well with them. So a very expensive primer, but I'm seeing this as a lot more than a primer. This is something that's giving a nice natural glow. I could just maybe use a bit of concealer and have a natural look today. But for me, it is giving me a ton of fabulous skincare. Plus, it's helping everything to work all day and look good all day and keep me hydrated all day. So it is quite a magic primer, if you want to call it that. It's got that magnetic closure, by the way. quite a strong one. And that's new, they didn't have that with the other one. So the packaging has definitely got chunkier, even though the other one was lovely. And I think if they got rid of that tortoise shell, yeah, there's no tortoise shell print on this one, and there was on this one, which some people might miss because that is quite lovely, isn't it? But anyway, so those are the two differences, and that's how it looks. What do you think? I don't think it's feeling better than the other one, to be honest. I think the differences are that there are added ingredients. It was already packed full of greatness, and some of the ingredients I've read out to you are additional. So sorry, I don't know which ones, but there's more. There have been additions. So it's just basically doing a better job of making your skin healthy and locking in moisture. So that is why it's been reformulated. But the only reason I'm interested in it was because of the pink. And I think it's lovely, and I think it's perfect for my skin tone. And I think if I finished this and I was going to go back and get another one, which I probably would, I would be going for the pink straight away, because I think it is just perfect for me personally. So anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you already tried it? Are you a fan? Have you tried the new formulated one? I'm very happy with it. I'm going to go on now anyway and do the rest of my base makeup, so we can then get stuck straight into the powder review. So I've got my base on and I'm ready to go in with these new Givenchy PRISME Libres. But first of all, let's look at some information on these. You can get 7 shades of these. I'll pop a picture up now, and these are £45. These are promising to be mattifying and blurring setting powders, and this is a new setting powder for all day matte finish with preserved hydration. So this is reformulated without any talc. And I'll pop a picture up now on the screen of the ingredients for you. So something that has changed with this is in the packaging. It's a little bit more of a chunky packaging. I do have the limited edition, but the packaging is the same with the non-limited edition. I say it's more chunky. It's not actually. It feels a bit heavier. Maybe it's, oh, this is nearly empty, that's why, ignore me. But it has changed, because the old one, you just open up and you have this section in the top with the brush, and there's the powder underneath of my very much loved pressed powder. This one, it's not a big difference, but it feels different when you open it. So you open up here and the brush opens away this side to the side. So that's the only difference. I'm not sure why I felt that was significant, but I did think it was a bit different. And let me just look at the brush. The brush is exactly the same, so there's not much difference. So wow, that was a disappointment, wasn't it? But anyway, we have a nice stand-up mirror. I do like the way this works. I think the thing that struck me the most is when I open up the pressed powder one, the original, sorry, is either I don't even realise I've got this because it just opens up and the brush is tucked away, or it opens up with this and it's a bit fiddly then to lift it up when it's new. This has been used so many times, that's not bothering me anymore. And I think what's so different about the new one is when you open it up, the brush is very clearly there and it's just very easy to access. I just think it's more user-friendly, and that's why it struck me as being different. It's a tiny difference, but it does make a big difference in the way you use it, I think. And I do really rate the fact that they put this in, because you don't need to have a puff in your bag. You can just have this for the on-the-go touch-up. So I don't use this for application, but it's very handy for that on-the-go touch-up. So packaging, fabulous. Formula is the key one here though. So what I've done over the last few days is I've been filming different combinations. So I picked up a shade which is new for me, and that is the lightest shade. And I also picked up a shade that I adore, which many of you adore, which is shade 3. So here is shade 3, the Voile Rose, and then we have shade 1, which I've never tried, the lightest in the entire range, this TULLE Opalescent. And I've filmed a comparison of these two, so I'm going to play that clip for you now. Here it is. This one is shade 00, which is TULLE Opalescent. So this is the lightest one. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to use my puff and set underneath the eye. Straight away I can see that that is very, very brightening. Keep in mind this is the absolute lightest in the collection. And a shade I've never tried before. I've tried 1 and I've tried 3, and I love those shades, but I've never tried this one. That is very brightening. so smoothing, and I'm not seeing any signs of that sort of highlighting finish so far. Let me do the rest of this side of the face. It's going to make me quite pale, I would imagine. I've got a bit of contour on, so I'm not completely pale underneath. Actually, it's not making me too pale. It's going on very nicely. I've got quite a lot of pores and texture showing here, so it'll be interesting to see how much this is blurred out. I do feel a little bit like it's sitting in the lines there and emphasising them a little bit, which is a bit of a worry. Let's do the forehead. Look how quickly this takes down the shine though. Very, very nice, smooth, silky formula. So that is the whole of this side of the face fully set. Just looking a tiny bit dry there, but I don't know if I'm being picky. So here is one side set and one side not, so you can see the difference. And look how brightening that is under the eye. That's a beautiful under the eye shade. And I think that this shade works fine for my complexion all over. So far it's looking really good. Now let's look at shade 3, which was my favourite in the loose powder. So this is the Voile Rose, or Voile Rose, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I've got the same perf and I've cleaned it off, so I'm using exactly the same thing. This one is actually 3 shades deeper because you can get shades 1 and 2, and this is 3, and the one I've tried so far was the 00. So let's set the under eye. This has always been a shade I've liked under the eyes and all over the face. But I'm guessing it won't be quite as brightening as this, but it still is. Look at that, it still is a lovely shade for under the eyes. So if you've got fair skin, I think you're going to find that shades 00, 01 and 3, if you're cool tone, which I am, will work well on you. Probably neutral and cool tone will work, these will work well on you. So there's the difference. Slightly less pale. You can see that it's not quite as white and brightening as this side, but this one is very, very brightening. So let's do the rest of the face and let's see how it deals with the textured area here. Quite a generous amount of powder coming off for a pressed powder. I'm not having to go back in and get a lot, which I've had to do with the original formula from Givenchy. I usually go back in an awful lot of times actually to set my whole face, but this time my puff is picking up so much I really don't need to. And let's do the forehead. Very effortless, very quick. This side looks better. So I think the reason my texture is showing up more there is because of the shade. So it maybe is too light for me all over the face. So I think I'll be using this one more for under the eye. It's a bit too light because it actually emphasises because of how light it is. This shade is just perfection and it is blurring. This is very promising because the loose powder that was reformulated in this lovely shade was definitely giving a sort of highlight finish. It had that sort of bright, not just brightening, but highlighting finish, which was so disappointing. But this definitely does not have that. Oh, that is really good news. So there we go. Can you see much of a difference between the two sides? I just think the main difference is this one is that bit more pale. But they've both done a fabulous job. But personally for me, if you've got fair to light skin, I would opt for shades 1 or 3. I haven't tested 1 yet in the reformulated, but I know that shade works on me. And going by the 2 I've just tested, the reformulated powder is looking excellent. So I'm really thrilled about that actually. But yeah, I would definitely go with shades 1 or 3. I think that they are a little bit better because this is just too bright, too light. It starts to emphasise. So there we go. What do you think? So you can see from that the good news is this is not showing any signs of having highlighting properties like the new formulated loose powder. So it looks like we don't have that problem. So that's a very, very, very good, well, that is good news. I'm not seeing any signs of it, but as you saw there, I think the lightest shade is definitely better as a brightener under the eye. So I think it's quite nice having the two, not essential, but it's nice if you did, because if you're my skin twin anyway, if you're lighter than me, you may find that that's perfect for all over the face. If you're my skin twin, then that one's particularly good for under the eyes. And then my OG shade, the 03, is the best one for me for all over the face and under the eyes, and this is the most perfecting. I find it's just the best shade for me to get that perfect finish, because the lighter shade was definitely emphasizing this texture, which you can probably see now. I know I look very orangey, I should have said that earlier, but the powders will combat that. That's because I put quite a strong contour on before I powder, and then the powders will combat that, so you will see that. So please do ignore how orangey I look. I just noticed in my monitor, but that will improve as I apply the powders, and you'll see. So the next one I compared was, this has been my OG setting powder, my OG press setting powder for a long time. So if you follow me, you know that I'm always raving about this and nothing seems to beat it. And every time I try a new one, I say, why can't it have different shades like the Givenchy and it will work as well as that? Until I tried the new YSL loose powder, which I've only so far got in the translucent. I have ordered blue and pink finally, but they're going to still be another week getting to me, which I'm really excited about. But anyway, this is the first powder I've tested, and I've tested a lot, but this is the first one that has matched up to the original loose Givenchy. In fact, it's as good. It really is gorgeous. So I had to film these two side by side. I know that they are different shades, so I wasn't expecting exact matches, but this one is quite light, and obviously so is this one for me. So I've filmed a clip of that so you can see the comparisons between the two. So here's that clip. So I'm going to start under the eyes with a puff, and going in with the Givenchy. Very brightening, very smoothing, and no sign of this having that very shiny formula that's been introduced into the new Givenchy loose powder. So this is very good. So now going in to set the rest of my face, and this is my most textured area here, where you can see pores and texture the most. So you can see now how it takes down that and blurs it. And now doing the forehead. So that is one side done and one side not done. I do feel like the creases are showing up a little bit under the eyes here with this, so not quite as perfect under the eyes as I might have hoped. So now I'm going to try the YSL on this side. So I have this in the translucent. So tapping some of this into the lid, patting this into the back of my hand with my puff, which I've cleaned off, and setting under the eye this side so we can really see the difference if there is any. I'd say it's not quite as brightening, but it's definitely looking a little bit smoother, I have to say. So now taking the YSL powder over the rest of the face. So this is the area here where I have a lot of texture. And let's see if it blurs out the texture better on this side than it has on this side, because I can still see quite a bit of texture here after powdering. It does look good, but it hasn't completely gone. And yeah, the YSL is definitely blurring more. Can you see YSL compared with Givenchy there? I'm not massively surprised, because I've been testing out this YSL loose powder almost daily since getting it, and I am so impressed with it. So now going in to do the rest of my forehead, taking down that shine. So now we can see side by side, both are excellent, but the YSL has got the edge for me because I can see texture, and I really can't see it here. It's just perfect. I love the YSL, and I can see the lines underneath my eyes. So the Reformulated doesn't look to me like it's as good, even though I do need to film a comparison, and will be doing that for my YouTube channel with the old Givenchy and the new side by side, the pressed. But certainly in this comparison, the new Givenchy pressed and the YSL loose, the YSL wins easily. So as you can see, the newly formulated Givenchy pressed is not quite standing up to the absolute fabulousness of this new YSL. It doesn't beat it. So that's why today I want to do a test between the two. So I'm going to try the two side by side to see if the reason this didn't stand up to YSL is because it's just not as good as the old original formula, or is it just because YSL now beats even my OG? Let's have a look. And finally, this will take down that very strange overly orange brown look. It's not orange, I've just put quite a lot of contour on. And I've changed my lighting, so you're really getting to see this quite lit up. But hopefully the powder will do its job. If it doesn't, then I'm in trouble. So So I'm going to use my Nikki LaRose, the N14, which is my favourite brush for this. I'll go in with the OG powder first. So I can still use this one. I do have one backup in this formula, but as long as I swirl around the edges, I am still picking up all 4 shades. There is just about enough of the lightest shade left for me to do that. And now I will set under here. Now this side is the worst side for eye wrinkles anyway. So if this side does look a bit worse, it's because of that. I do have more lines for some reason under here. As usual, it's doing a rather beautiful job of not emphasising them and in fact reducing them, because it is such a good powder. I think what I should do is film the OG against the YSL at some point. Do you know, I do still have one backup left of the loose powder in the OG formula from Givenchy, so I think what I will do at some point, look out for a shorts reel, I will film YSL versus that, but I might wait till I've got the 3 colours, because I'd actually like to mix them together. Anyway, that's another video for another day. Today we're just talking about the new Givenchy. So I'm just going into the T-zone area, but I will set the whole of my face eventually. And it's just not sinking into lines, it's not caking, it's just perfect. So now let's go into the eye, this side, using the new formula. I'm just going to tap off the brush to make sure I've got no excess powder on it, because I want to use the same brush, and then take this powder. There's a lot more kickback on this than there was on the original. So immediately shows a difference in formula. Now when I said this wasn't as good as YSL in my video, I used a puff, and the next day I did exactly the same comparison off camera and I felt that it wasn't quite as bad. So I do think it is key for under the eye to use something like this. So maybe I was being a little bit unfair to this, even though the YSL looked perfect even with a puff. It's just such a good powder. But yeah, straight away it's emphasised lines more. It's not as good. It's not terrible, it's not brightening, but it's emphasised lines. This one reduced the appearance of my lines. This one showed me lines I wasn't seeing before. Even though I don't see it having any highlighting property when you look at it swatched on the back of your hand, if I show you that actually. So here on my hand, see what you think, but I don't see any sort of highlight brightening property at all. This is under really bright lights here, but it's not showing signs of that brightening effect. And I don't see it having it there, but it is somehow emphasising this line here, whereas this one slightly reduced it. It's very minimal, I'm being super picky, but I don't think it quite matches. It's minimal. It's not like when I tried the pressed powder and the loose powder and saw a huge difference. So I think I've just gone around here, but the main textured areas, this side and this side, that's what we really want to compare. So I'm going to get my puff, my faithful Mario puff, and go into the original first. And then I'm going to tackle this area here, which is where the texture is for me. And then carry on to do the rest of the face, and then you hopefully should see how this powder does the magic of balancing the colour of my face, which is why, because I do like to wear a lot of powder, I do like to be quite generous with my contour underneath, because I like a lot of powder because I can't bear stickiness, so I do apply it very generously, but it does mean you lose what's underneath a bit. So I'm a bit more generous with the contour, and you can see now how this powder has really balanced it. It's the perfect sort of combination. This one and 03, the rose. That's much better, isn't it? And now we'll go in with the new formula and see how it deals with the texture here. Wow, that's surprised me a bit. A lot, actually, because I think it's done a better job than the OG. Wasn't expecting that. So does that mean YSL is better than the OG, better than the new formula? I think it has done a better job. I'll show you closer up now. And first I'll just quickly do the rest of my forehead. One thing I did notice in my first try of these, which I think I mentioned in the earlier clip, is how I seem to need a bit less of this. Just seems to pick up more powder. So here are the comparisons, OG versus newly formulated. I think my texture is ever so slightly more visible there and more blurred with the new. So I don't know if it was my imagination under my eyes now. I did feel like it looked like it was showing more, but it's very hard to tell because I do have these lines there. Let me just go over it again with the brush without adding any more on. Let me also put a bit more in that textured area to see if it's just because it seems to pick up more powder, the new formula. So maybe that's why it looks better. So I need to just add a bit more of the OG because I have, like I said, always had to go in quite a lot with this one. Yeah, I think that maybe has evened it out now. So I think that's what the difference is. It's not better. Yeah, it's not. It's just that you pick up more product and it does the job more quickly. So what is the verdict? I think the verdict is it's as good. There's no change. I don't think there's any change. What do you think? I think it's the same. So that's really good news if you love these, which I absolutely do, even though the YSL is very, very much challenging it. But I do love the ease of a pressed powder, and there is nothing on the market at all as good as the Givenchy pressed powder. So I'm delighted that their newly reformulated one is as good. So they are going to be my regular use pressed powders. And I think my search for powders can now end because I've found what I needed. After all this searching, it ended up being Givenchy again. So my pressed powder is now being replaced by Givenchy's reformulated. That's absolutely fine. And my loose powder has been replaced from the Givenchy PRISME LIBRE to the YSL. And look out for a video coming up from me soon using the pink and the blue. I cannot wait to try those. And definitely in that video, what I will do, whether it's in a clip or it's in the actual video itself, I will combine all three shades and make a little concoction to see how that looks. And maybe in that one I'll compare it with Givenchy. I'll just see how I get on, see what my timeline's like. But I will definitely be doing all of those things and I can't wait. And I feel like my quest will have come to a complete end. I then know my top powders and I'm very pleased. I can stop searching, stop buying, stop testing. But anyway, I do have a couple of other things from Givenchy. I picked up one of their new highlighters. I just wanted to quickly show you actually some freebies. It's always nice to show you how some brands can be quite generous. So this was a gift with purchase. A very nice textured bag. You see how it's very textured with the Givenchy logo here on the zip. So a nice travel bag to add to my collection. And it also came with a free perfume, which was quite a generous one again. So this is the very popular L'Interdit, is that how you say it? And you get 12.5 ml, so that's a really good freebie. It's actually one of my favourite perfumes. I was going to spray it, but I won't because I'm going to save this for travel because that's very, very good for me. I do love that perfume. So the other thing I've picked up is one of their new highlighters. Look at the packaging on this. I think this was their special spring packaging. Isn't it gorgeous? So I'm actually going to try this as a blush because of all the different colours in it. This is the limited edition 2-colour loose powder highlighter in number 15. That's all it says. It doesn't seem to name it in shade. I'm looking forward to trying that. It looks so pretty. So I'll go off camera, complete the rest of my makeup, but I won't put any blush on because we'll see if that highlighter works as a glowy blush. But if it doesn't, I'll try it on the other side just as a highlighter as well. So I'll be back to show you that. Oh, also I picked up a lipstick. I'm not completing everything I've got here. From the same collection, I picked up one of the new lipsticks, the Rose Perfecto Shine Serum Lipstick. So this one I will be trying on right at the end in Mellow Pink. So I'll see you in a minute. So I've gone on with the rest of my makeup and I am looking superbly pale. I need some colour on my lips and my cheeks. So let's hope this highlighter can give me that. Not that it's promising that, but this is a limited edition 2-colour loose powder highlighter, the PRISME LIBRE highlighter. And this is a perfect combination of pearly pink highlighter and a radiant coral for a luminous adjustable finish. This is £44 and it's the limited edition, says it's only coming in the 1 shade. So like I showed you earlier, it really is gorgeous, isn't it? And it comes with a little tiny puff, which is so cute and great for travel. These puffs are quite good actually. I won't use the puff today. I'm going to keep it for if I need it for travel. So I'll tip some into the base here and we can see what these shades look like together. I've put quite a generous amount there. So very similar to the loose setting powder in the way this is packaged, just smaller. I don't know if I've put too much. It does seem quite colourful actually, doesn't it, for a highlighter? So I'll go in with a blush brush on one side, my Rafa Holiday blush brush. Everyone's asking me about this when I'm using this in videos, and I have actually written to Rafa to ask if they're going to be coming out with another one, because this was limited edition for the holiday and it's just so good, it's so effective, and it's the best blush brush. I'm using this powder as a blush, as I said, but obviously this is a highlight. That's looking very pretty. It's definitely giving me a bit of colour, isn't it? Not a lot, but a little hint there. You can see that sort of peachy pink. Oh, that is really pretty. I mean, I think I probably do need a bit more blush, but I wouldn't want to build this up further because it would become too shiny. But certainly, it looks a little bit sparkly, like I can see very small sparkles of glitter. I can definitely see them on my cheek. Not enough to bother me, but keep that in mind if it's something that really bothers you. Definitely emphasising things a little bit there, as all highlighters do, but possibly a little bit more because of those glittery specks. Yeah, that is very pretty. I mean, you can see it's just introduced a tiny flush of colour there. So I think what I'll do is I'll put actual blusher on this side. I've got here on my desk the Westman Atelier Petal Powder that I recently reviewed here on my channel. So I think what I'll do, I think they go together well actually, is I'll put a bit of petal on this cheek first using the blush brush, and I will add some on this side just so that both sides have the same. And then I'm going to use my Wayne Goss holiday brush for the highlighter. Tap into some, I added a bit more to the lid there, and then I'm going to just, oh that is so pretty, straight away on top of petal. You see how that works better. I think maybe I picked up a bit more product as well because it's going in that sort of, it's a dense brush and it's going in one spot. Oh, that is really nice. Definitely want to use this more as a high, oh I've gone a bit mad, haven't I? Oh, that is pretty though. That is pretty. It really is emphasising texture, so be aware of that. Like I said, all highlighters will, but this one maybe a bit more. We do need to like quite a strong glow for this. Sorry, Alfie is shouting at me because it's nearly 2 PM right now and he's let me know it's lunchtime. So he's gone to his food cupboard and he's barking. And he'll probably continue to do that until I finish, so I need to hurry up. So anyway, that is the highlighter. I think that is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Just be aware of those sparkles on the cheeks if you're not a fan, but I am, and I'm happy. So let's finish the look now. I do have a bit of lip liner on. I've gone in with my Delilah lip line, which I've been loving lately. This is such a good, long-lasting, easy to apply liner. It's one of those retractable ones. I've put it away now. Here it is. Naked is the shade I've used. So fully retractable with a sharpener in the bottom. I love these from Delilah. And remember, they're the company that give me the most generous discount code for everybody, 22%, and they have some fabulous products. So I've put a link for that below if you wanted to try it. But this is how Naked looks as a liner on me, and I think it's perfect. So here we have this beautiful, beautiful packaging. the Rose Perfecto Shine Serum Lipstick, Care and Colour Shine Lipstick with 24 hours hydration, a hybrid lipstick infused with hyaluronic acid for 8 hours vibrant colour, plumping care and ultra shiny lips. There are 11 shades and I've gone for 118, which is mellow pink. There are some more pigmented ones, so I haven't gone for the strongest one. So this one is a neutral soft pink. It should give me a luminous finish. Let's have a look. Oh gosh, that is nice. Oh wow, that is lovely. I have one sitting here on my desk, a gloss, which is literally right next to me from the launch last year. You can see it matches the limited edition pressed powder. Tempted to try that on top now. Not that it needs it, I won't try it on top. But the reason I'm telling you is that's how good their lip products are, that they end up there and nearly a year later they're still sat there. Most things get put away by me. Oh, that's so gorgeous, I love it. Reminds me a little bit of the new Charlotte Tilbury, the Kiss Talk, which was the one that really wowed me. So I'm going to swatch the two side by side. It's not the same, but I'll swatch it just in case. So if you saw that review, Kiss Talk, I think it's something to do with the finish. They're not massively different actually, but there is a difference. That's the Kiss Talk from Charlotte Tilbury, and here is this one. Definitely got more luminosity as it says, but then this is a lipstick, a kissing lipstick from Charlotte. So not quite the same, but both very, very, very pretty. Very spring, summer perfect, this shade, I think. Oh, I love that. That is so pretty. I can see this one being alongside that Charlotte one that I'm loving as my regular, and the packaging is so pretty. Oh, I love it. Givenchy, you're winning me back. Not that you ever really lost me, but you did upset me a little bit with your loose powder changes. But today, that's proved very successful. The powders were a success, and certainly the highlighter, beautiful, and this lip. What do you think of everything I've tried on? So at the start we looked at the Victoria Beckham Illuminator, which has been reformulated and is still beautiful. It just has more goodness in it. I think that's the main change. And also we had the addition of Rose, so the best shade for me and the only shade I'll be buying, I think. I love that. And then we looked at the Givenchy pressed powders and compared them with each other, with the original, different shades side by side, and with the new YSL, which has become the holy grail loose powder for me. I could have compared it, I keep looking around for it, with the Lancome, but it's just completely different to the Lancome and the Lancome pressed powder, and for me it doesn't quite beat it, unfortunately. I do love the Lancome pressed powder. I'd say that's currently sitting second on my list of top pressed powders, so it's not doing badly, I just don't prefer it. But yeah, I'm very pleased to see that it looks to be pretty much the same as the original formula, and the packaging's a bit better. So there we are, there's a win-win. And then highlighter and lip, gorgeous. I would love to hear your thoughts, but I'm delighted with all of these. But please do comment below whether you hate them, love them, have nothing to say, but maybe you want to talk about something else. Anything you have to say, I'm interested to hear it. And if you're new here, please do hit the like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it ever so much if you did that. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being here. Honestly, I appreciate you all very much. And I do hope to see you all again for my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.